Welcome to Unframed Mind. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Sarah. Today, we're diving into a framework that's becoming essential for organizations navigating our digital landscape: the digital maturity model.
That's right, Sarah. As businesses face increasing pressure to transform digitally, understanding where you stand and where you need to go is crucial for success.
Yep, we'll break down the 5 stages of digital maturity, explore the key dimensions assessed in these models, and hear from an expert about how organizations can advance their digital capabilities.
So, Sarah, let's start by explaining what exactly the digital maturity model is.
At its core, the digital maturity model is a framework that helps organizations understand and assess their progress in digital transformation across multiple dimensions.
And importantly, it recognizes that digital transformation isn't binary. You're not simply digital or not digital. There are stages of progression.
Yeah, exactly. While different consulting firms have their own variations, most models identify 5 distinct stages of maturity.
Let's walk through those stages. Stage 1 is typically called initial or ad hoc.
In this earliest stage, digital initiatives are scattered and uncoordinated. Organizations might have pockets of digital activity, but there's no overarching strategy.
Stage 2 is often labeled developing or opportunistic. Here, organizations begin to recognize the importance of digital and start developing strategies, though implementation remains inconsistent.
In stage 3, defined or systematic, organizations have clear digital strategies with resources allocated appropriately. Digital initiatives align with business objectives.
Stage 4, managed or advanced, is where things get really interesting. Digital becomes deeply embedded in the organization's operations and culture, with metrics to track progress.
And finally, stage 5, optimized or transformed. At this highest level of maturity, organizations continuously innovate and adapt their digital capabilities, often disrupting their own business models before competitors do.
What's fascinating is that very few organizations, even tech giants, reach stage 5 across all dimensions simultaneously.
Right.
Most organizations operate at different maturity levels in different areas. Now that we understand the stages, let's discuss what dimensions these models actually measure.
This is crucial because digital maturity isn't just about technology implementation. Most models assess at least 6 key dimensions.
Let's start with strategy and leadership. This dimension examines how organizations set digital vision and how leaders champion transformation efforts.
At lower maturity levels, digital might be seen as an IT responsibility, while at higher levels, it's integrated into overall business strategy with clear executive sponsorship.
The second dimension is customer experience. This evaluates how organizations use digital to enhance customer interactions and deliver personalized experiences.
Less mature organizations focus on digitizing existing customer touchpoints, while more mature ones reimagine the entire customer journey using digital capabilities.
The third dimension is operations and supply chain, how businesses use digital to improve efficiency and adapt their operating models.
Fourth is technology and infrastructure. This measures the organization's technology stack and architecture flexibility.
The fifth dimension is data and analytics capabilities, how organizations collect, manage, and leverage data for decision-making.
And finally, there's people and culture.
Right.
This assesses workforce skills, organizational structure, and cultural elements like innovation and agility.
What's powerful about this multi-dimensional approach is that it helps organizations identify specific areas for improvement, rather than pursuing a vague goal of becoming more digital.
We're joined now by Jamie Chen, Chief Information Officer at Global Innovations, Inc., a company that successfully progressed through multiple stages of digital maturity. Jamie, thanks for being here.
Jamie, how does your organization use the digital maturity model in practice?
We conduct maturity assessments annually across all 6 dimensions you just discussed. Identifying our strengths and gaps has been valuable. For example, 2 years ago, we discovered we were at stage 4 in technology, but only stage 2 in data capabilities.
How do you prioritize which dimensions to focus on?
We look at two factors: the size of the gap and the strategic importance of that dimension to our business. For a retailer, customer experience might be most critical, while for a manufacturer, operations might take priority.
Right.
What's been the most challenging dimension for your organization to advance?
I would say people and culture. Technology implementation is relatively straightforward compared to changing mindsets and behaviors. We've learned that without investment in training and change management, technology investments deliver limited value.
Do you see organizations getting stuck at particular stages?
Well, stage 3 is the danger zone. Organizations develop good digital strategies and implement some initiatives, but they struggle to scale beyond pilots. Moving from stage 3 to 4 requires systemic changes, breaking down silos, revamping incentive structures, and embedding digital into governance mechanisms.
Any advice for organizations just starting their assessment?
Be honest about where you really are, not where you wish you were. Many leaders overestimate their maturity. And remember that this isn't about achieving the highest stage in every dimension. It's about reaching the right level of maturity for your strategic needs.
Thanks, Jamie, for sharing your valuable knowledge.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
Let's talk about how organizations can systematically advance through these maturity stages.
The journey typically starts with assessment, understanding your current state across all dimensions, using workshops, surveys, and data analysis.
Then comes prioritization. Based on strategic goals and current gaps, which dimensions and capabilities need attention first?
And next, a roadmap development, creating a phased approach to building capabilities over time, rather than trying to advance everywhere simultaneously.
One effective approach is to select specific value streams or customer journeys to transform end-to-end, which provides focused practice grounds for building maturity.
And throughout this process, measurement is critical. Organizations need clear metrics to track progress, both capability metrics. Are we getting better? And outcome metrics. Is it making a difference? Jordan, we've got some great questions from listeners.
Okay.
Carlos from Mexico City asks, does digital maturity look different for smaller businesses versus large enterprises?
Oh, excellent question, Carlos. The framework applies to organizations of all sizes, but smaller businesses can often move through the stages more quickly due to less organizational complexity. They might also prioritize different dimensions, focusing more on customer experience and less on complex governance structures that larger enterprises require.
Fatima from Dubai asks, how long does it typically take to move up a level in digital maturity?
Well, my research shows it typically takes 12 to 24 months to advance one full stage in a given dimension, assuming focused effort and investment. But it's important to note that the journey isn't linear. Organizations make progress in bursts rather than steady increments, often accelerating as they build momentum.
So, let's summarize what we've learned today about the digital maturity model.
We've explored the 5 stages of digital maturity, from initial ad hoc efforts to fully optimized digital capabilities, and the 6 key dimensions these models typically assess: strategy, customer experience, operations, technology, data, and people.
We've learned that maturity isn't just about implementing technology, but about building holistic capabilities across the organization. The most successful companies prioritize their efforts based on strategic needs, rather than trying to advance in all dimensions simultaneously.
And perhaps most importantly, we've seen that digital maturity is a journey rather than a destination. As technologies and customer expectations continue to evolve, even the most advanced organizations must continuously adapt.
Next week, we're exploring sustainable business practices. Until then, thanks for joining us on this journey through digital transformation.
Meet you soon.